This is Global Elections United Network. Welcome to the election night on Super Tuesday. Today we have 14 states and 1 territory at stake in the Democratic side. First, we will have our 7 p.m. Eastern Time poll closing from the states of Virginia and Vermont. In the state of Virginia, it is too close to call between the 3 frontrunners, Sanders, Biden, and Bloomberg. And in the state of Vermont, the home state of Bernie Sanders now lands on his column. A small but important win for him. Sanders leads with 13 delegates and 61%, Warren and Bloomberg 1 delegate and 11%, Biden 1 delegate and 9%, Klobuchar, Gabbard 6%, 1% each. Now we have our 7:30 p.m. poll closing from North Carolina. As expected, too early to call in the state of North Carolina, with massive 110 delegates at stake. In that state, it is currently too early to call, but Sanders, Biden, Bloomberg, those are the early leaders. It is now 8 p.m. in the Eastern Time, and we have the most contested races coming in from 6 states all around the nation. In the state of Alabama, with their 52 delegates at stake, we are calling that Joe Biden has won. Biden 25 delegates and 38%, Bloomberg 13 delegates and 22%, and it is closely followed by Sanders, who has 12 delegates and 22%. Warren 2 delegates 9%, Klobuchar and Gabbard 4% and 1% each. Continuing on to the state of Maine, we are projecting that Bernie Sanders will carry the most amount of the delegates in that state. Looking at the numbers, Sanders 10 delegates and 33%, Biden and Bloomberg 5 delegates and 21%, 19% each. Warren just behind with 4 delegates and 17%, Klobuchar and Gabbard 6%, 2%. And in the state of Massachusetts, the home state of Elizabeth Warren, it is too early to call, but first years are Sanders, Biden, and Warren. We also have the following states of Oklahoma and Tennessee as too early to call. However, in the state of Texas, with their 228 delegates, it is currently too close to call between Sanders, Biden, and Bloomberg. Now we have our 8:30 p.m. poll closing coming from the state of Arkansas. And we are not yet ready to make a specific projection. It is too early to call between the 3 front runners of the election according to the polling numbers. We also have a major projection from the state of North Carolina going into the former vice president's column. It wasn't that narrow. Biden 46 delegates and 34%, and Sanders behind at 34 delegates and 25%. Bloomberg 24 delegates and 20%, Warren 6 delegates and 12%, Klobuchar 6%, Gabbard 1%. Next, for the 9 p.m. Eastern Time poll closing, we have 2 states coming up, the states of Colorado and Minnesota. In the state of Colorado, Sanders easily wins. Sanders 30 delegates and 34%, Biden 14 delegates and 20%, Warren 12 delegates and 18%, Bloomberg 10 delegates and 17%. And there's no shift for either candidates in the home state of Amy Klobuchar, Minnesota. Currently, the picture in that state is that it is too close to call between Sanders and Klobuchar. Also in the Commonwealth of Virginia, now landing on Joe Biden's hands. However, there was a close race between Biden and Sanders in this state. Biden and Sanders 36, 35 delegates and 29-28% each. Bloomberg 23 delegates and 21%. Warren 4 delegates and 11%. Klobuchar 1 delegate and 7%. Gabbard no delegate and 1%. In the other hand, Bernie Sanders wins the state of Massachusetts, the home state of Elizabeth Warren. He has 34 delegates and 30%, followed by Warren, 28 delegates and 25%, Biden, 17 delegates and 19%, Bloomberg, 11 delegates and 16%, Klobuchar, 1 delegate and 8%. One more call coming up from the state of Oklahoma. The Sooner state has now gone into Biden's column. Biden, 13 delegates and 27%. Bloomberg on second with 11 delegates and 24%. Sanders, 10 delegates and 23%. Warren, 3 delegates and 13%. Klobuchar, 7%. It will be 10 p.m. in the Eastern Time in about few seconds, and we have the Beehive state of Utah. Utah, the great state of Utah, now landing on the column of Bernie Sanders. This means he will win the most delegates. Detailed, Sanders is at 14 delegates and 35%. Bloomberg, 7 delegates and 20%. Warren, 6 delegates and 19%. Biden, 2 delegates and 12%. Klobuchar, 6%. Gabbard, 2%. Also, a major projection from the state of Tennessee. Joe Biden is the projected winner. Biden, 25 delegates and 33%. Sanders, 19 delegates and 25%. Bloomberg, 16 delegates and 22%. Warren, 4 delegates and 12%. Klobuchar, 5%. Gabbard, 1%. In the state of Arkansas, now we are calling that Joe Biden has won at least in the vote level. This means there is an eventual tie in the delegate level between Sanders and Biden. Biden and Sanders, 10 delegates and 26% each. Bloomberg also very close with 9 delegates and 25%. Warren, 2 delegates and 11%. Klobuchar and Gabbard each on 6%, 1%. Now we have our 11 p.m. poll closing in the state of California, the largest state in the Democratic primaries. We are calling that Bernie Sanders wins big in California. He will win the most delegates out of 415 in total. Sanders has 189 delegates and 36%. Biden at second with 112 delegates and 23%. Bloomberg 57 delegates and 16%. Warren 55 delegates and 16%. Klobuchar 2 delegates and 6%. Gabbard no delegates, sorry for that, and 2%. Also coming up in the state of Texas, another huge state. We are calling Bernie Sanders will win at least in the delegate level. However, Joe Biden will win in the vote level. So this is a split decision. Sanders, 83 delegates and 29%. Biden, 82 delegates and 29%. Bloomberg, 47 delegates and 20%. Warren, 15 delegates and 13%. Klobuchar, 1 delegate and 5%. Another major projection from Minnesota. Amy Klobuchar wins the state of Minnesota. She needed this to continue the race. Klobuchar, 29 delegates and 29%. Sanders, 27 delegates and 28%. Biden, 9 delegates and 16%. Warren, 8 delegates and 15%. Bloomberg, 2 delegates and 9%. Gabbard, no delegates and 2%. In the territory of American Samoa, we can project that Sanders wins on the vote level. Only 6 delegates are at stake in this one, but still everything counts. However, there is a tie in the delegate level between Sanders and Biden. Sanders and Biden, 2 delegates and 28% each. Bloomberg and Warren, 1 delegate and 12% each. Klobuchar and Gabbard, 1% each. Before ending our coverage, we will look at the delegate count. Today, during the Super Tuesday, Sanders came first with 522 delegates. Biden on pretty good second with 399 delegates. Bloomberg 237 delegates. Warren 151 delegates. And Klobuchar 35 delegates. Also looking at the national delegate count until today, Sanders leads with 583 delegates, Biden trails with 452 delegates, Bloomberg behind with 237 delegates, Warren 159 delegates, Klobuchar 42 delegates, and Pete Buttigieg, who dropped out on 26 delegates. Thank you for watching the election night on Super Tuesday until the great end. Please subscribe if you have any interests on the elections around the globe. Also, like, share, and comment down below. In references, this election night was completely based on the forecast of 538 as of March 1st. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back.